decision within the next few weeks, John.
And we'll keep an eye on it. Lisa Sylvester, live in New York, thank you very much. And we'd like to hear from you on this issue.
So there is a lot going on in Asia, but as far as Australia and New Zealand goes, it is a whole different picture. Tuesday morning, the most we'll see is a few showers pushing into the southwest.
Ceasefire is rapidly unraveling. Evidence on the ground indicates that after 9 months of continual violence, the conflict looks set to continue. Mike Hanna, CNN, Jerusalem.
Japanese Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi is in the midst of his first diplomatic tour since his election in April in London. As at other stops, topics on the agenda range from the environment to outer space. For details, we go to Margaret Lowry.
The Japanese Prime Minister came to London from Washington for his first meeting with British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Mr. Koizumi is looking for support from Britain and from Europe to try to draw the United States back into talks on the Kyoto Climate Treaty. Short of that, analysts say Japan may follow Washington's lead.
The Europeans will be deeply disappointed that the Japanese are now pulling back from what we
and dangerous, and prosecutors linked him to the crime through identification lineups and forensics experts who were said to have found firearm residue on his jacket. And still ahead on World News, wanted abroad for his role in government death squads, Argentina's Blonde Angels surrenders to authorities.
Take a stroll through the home of the blues, proudly presented by Singapore Airlines.
They say that the blues gave birth to rock and roll. That makes Chicago, the home of the blues, a city of inspiration. If music be the food of love, then the blues is soul food. Get to the heart of the music. Get to Chicago.
Start your business day with Asia Business Morning, presented by Andrew Stevens 3 times each weekday morning. Here you will find analysis of...
Ivan, can you tell us more about the displaced people, exactly what is happening, how close the fighting is to them, and where they're going?
Well, the fighting seems to have calmed down. There have been skirmishes over the weekend and last Thursday. The people fled most of these people have fled to the homes of families and friends in the region. There are, again, some 9,000 people staying at 3 camps around the conflict zone. These are in the states of Nasarawa and Benue State. The governors of these 2 states are working together to try to defuse the situation and to provide food and water to these displaced civilians, and organizations such as Doctors Without Borders and the Nigerian Red Cross are also working to prevent the outbreak of disease in these camps.
Journalist Ivan Watson reporting from Lagos. Typhoon Dorian has made landfall in southern China. The typhoon ripped through the city of Zhanjiang, uprooting trees and flooding streets. No injuries were reported, but emergency alerts were issued for coastal areas. The typhoon's gale force winds and rains caused power outages and damaged crops and reservoirs. Jenny Harrison is tracking down the typhoon and a new storm that's gaining strength. Jenny.
Hi, Maureen. Yes, indeed. We're now looking very closely at Tropical Storm Utor, which is the next system. But really, just before I move on to that, I just want to say that although we've been talking about the first typhoon making landfall, it's not necessarily over just yet. If I show you on the satellite image exactly what's going on, then you'll see that It's possibly a little bit hard to see, but in fact it's this bundle of cloud here. Now, as it's actually made landfall, obviously it's beginning to shear apart, but it's still very strong, and it's generally rolling along the coast, so it'll continue to have these very strong winds, damaging winds, and it will also continue to bring some pretty heavy amounts of rain as well. So it is going to continue to weaken, but as I say, we're not completely out of the woods just yet. But this is the next system we're keeping a very close eye on. It is a large system, as you can see, and it's forecast to intensify to a typhoon by about Wednesday. Now, the latest on Typhoon Dorian is that indeed the winds are still, you can see it's at 120 kilometers an hour, gusting higher than that. It's moving northwest, but as I said, it's actually rolling along the south coast there, really at about 12 kilometers an hour. But again, it will be forecast to weaken in the next 24 to 36 hours. Now, as for Tropical Storm Utor, that is quite different altogether. The winds aren't as strong at the moment, 74 kilometers an hour, gusting to 102, but it is forecast to intensify. It's moving very fast in a northwesterly direction, about 30 kilometers an hour, and for the time being, it's about 463 kilometers to the northwest of Yap. Now, Tuesday morning then, this is